I've seen a lot of teams that have bad shooting nights, and they just don't have a foundation from which to win from. You got to have a culture. We talk about culture a lot here, but you know what culture is? It's setting standards every day in practice, setting standards in September when we're running on the indoor football facility from sideline to sidelines 20 consecutive times when these kids can't stand up hardly, but they keep going. It's allowing your standards to give you a chance to create expectations. Then everything revolves around accountability, holding them accountable. You're not always going to make shots. We go into every game knowing that we have to defend in rebounds. I thought we did a good job of defending for a long time against Connecticut. They just made shots. They made tough shots that their crowd the other night was unbelievable. But we lean on our culture so much. We lean on our preparation, on our hard work, and our kids' toughness. Our program's known for that. I mean, I don't want to lead the nation in offensive rebounds. I'd rather lead the nation in offensive field goal percentage. But if you're not going to make shots, you better know how to fetch it, and that's a big deal. Probably the stat that I paid attention to the most is the one I got circled right here. It says tips. Justin Gorham had 12, Fabian had 7, and Chris had 9. That means that they may not have gotten it, but when the ball came off the rim, they touched it or tipped it so somebody else could keep it alive. When we get to 25 tips, that's when we're pretty good. We're hard to beat. Tonight we had 28. So, but we go into every game thinking that. I've said this numerous times. We are not a great shooting team. We're not. Don't need to sugarcoat it. But we don't have to always make shots. Some of our blowout wins, we made shots those nights. But we've had a lot of close games because we have another way to win, and it takes incoming kids a long time to embrace that and understand how hard that is to win that way. But you can't always depend on making shots.
Coach, does it seem like something changed for Quentin, and this could be for you too, Quentin? Did something change for you in the second half to where it seemed like you really got into his own?
Just like my teammates really just always give me just pushing me, like keep shooting. Like Coach said, if we have a good shooting night, we can always win with our offensive rebounding. So they know whoever's shooting, Caleb, me, Marcus, whoever, we know that if we shoot it, the bigs are crashing. We got 3-4 guys crashing to the offensive glass. We get a rebound, kick it out, shoot it again. We want everybody on the team to shoot the ball because we know if we get an offensive rebound, we can dagger out and keep going. So like tonight, like today in the first half, when shots aren't falling, offensive rebound and just kick it out and keep it moving.
I'll speak to that. I love Quentin Grimes. I love him because of his journey, his perseverance, and the way he can have a night like he did tonight. He struggled early in the first half. He does that sometimes, but you have to stay with him because I know how good he is. Sometimes they've got to get out of their own way. When he gets out of his own way and he gives himself permission to go be a dominant player, he can do it. And that's why his best basketball is so far ahead of him. You saw what he was capable of tonight. Look at Fabian White. I thought these two guys were dominant in their areas. We kept going to offensively. We had about 4 different things we were calling for Q, and then one time he had a heat check. I didn't even mind his heat check. I just said, do a little bit later in the shot clock because we had a big lead at the time. But I was proud of this young man. He had 7 offensive rebounds and 7 defensive rebounds against the best player in the league. You guys see why Precious Achiuwa is going to be a lottery pick. Special kid. The thing I love about him is how hard he plays. Plays hard. He puts that ball in the rim and goes after it, but this young man right here fought him tooth and nail. and came out with, I have no idea, he had 18 points and 14 rebounds. Think about that, and he's been struggling. I think he was in the witness protection program the other night in Connecticut. But tonight he showed up, and when Fabian competes, when these two guys play like they did, we have a chance pretty good. Now Caleb, was taking his normal shots, just like at Cincinnati, it just didn't go in tonight. But I could hear his teammates keep shooting. We want him to keep shooting. That's his game. He's an ISO player. We're not going to run the Princeton offense and look pretty with Caleb. We're going to give him space and let him create, and he's been our leading scorer that way. But Quentin can do that. Dejan struggled making shots. But they all guarded, they all rebounded, and they all took care of the ball. That was why we won.
Coach, CBS here, Jim Nantz coming back, the crowd, and sort of coming back late. I mean, what does a day like this mean, program-wise? And
well, the lady that interviewed me at halftime, Tracy, asked me what I have to do to get our offense going. I said, well, I hope we're a lot better in the afternoon than we are in the morning, because that daylight saving time pushed that clock back to 10 o'clock. These guys all have internal clocks. These guys ain't great shooters anyway, and they doggone sure not very good at 10 o'clock in the morning. We just needed to get to the afternoon. We shoot a lot better in the afternoon than we do in the mornings. But Jim Nantz is a legend. He's an icon. He's someone that has set standards in his own profession. But what I love about him? He's a Cougar, and he's proud of that. I spent about 2 hours with him yesterday after practice doing some TV stuff and gained a whole new perspective. I mean, he loves this university. And there's a lot of guys that go on and make their way in the world that sometimes they forget where they come from. We all know people like that. But Jim Nantz didn't. He loves this university, and he loves this basketball program too. He told me that if he can't watch the game, he tapes every game we play. And I know he's telling the truth because he started giving me, asking me about certain possessions in the South Carolina game, and then other games. But he's a huge fan of our basketball program. But more importantly, he's a huge fan of this great university.
Fabian, what did it mean to have a game like this with so much on the line?
I was just really playing for my teammates and especially for YG, because it's YG's last home game. We got to send him off right. And we didn't want to lose 2 in a row. I don't think we lost 2 in a row since probably we haven't lost 2 in a row since I've been here. So I wanted to keep that streak going and just send YG off right.
What'd you think of that dog pile at the end?
That just shows how much we just love each other. I love every single one of my teammates, and we especially love YG.
Kelvin, how much of this, especially your younger guys, is confidence? I mean,
Yeah.
he's able to get going,
Yeah.
and you hit a couple shots, and all of a sudden you start to feel it a little more, and that just builds and carries.
That's a great question, Brian, because I have to digest that a lot, and internally I'm fighting that a lot, coaching this team. We lost 4 starters, and they just weren't 4 starters. We lost guys that started 120-plus games. Another guy started 75, maybe. Another guy, that's you're not replacing their numbers. You're replacing their experience. And that's what I noticed on the road. People say, well, we struggled on the road. I don't know if it's struggle. We're just paying our dues. Last year we were 8-1 on the road, and we were a call away from being 9-0. Year before we're 6-3. Year before 6-3. But we've never been young. This is my 6th year here, and this is the first time we've been young. I looked in front of our team today. At one point, we had 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior. Now Memphis is young too, but we're not built to be young. That was supposed to be. I had 2 guys I thought would be really good seniors for these young kids, Armani and Chris. but we just don't have a lot of senior leadership. You know, it's not Chris's deal. You know, Chris is somebody we all love, but Chris leads by his actions. And then his role is different than, say, Galen's role or Rob Gray's role or even Devin Davis or Wes Van Beck. You know, those guys, when they were seniors, they left their imprint. And these guys will eventually too. You know, next year we're going to have some seniors. You know, Fabian's going to be a senior. Bryson will be a senior. Justin will be a senior. But the thing I love about this program, we still win. Some people have to get older to win. You know, we still win, and that's because of our culture. You know, we're in this to win. Now we have the kind of team, because of the way we shoot it, we catch a little hot streak, we could win 3 games next week. But if we're not shooting well, we could get knocked off too. I don't run from that, you know, and it doesn't bother me. You know, I live in reality. But if I had to make a bet, I'd bet on this group though, because these kids are tough.
Kelvin, can you talk about how your team's playing as you guys get ready to head into tournament season?
Yeah, for a lot of these guys, it's their first time. You know, Marcus Sasser this time last year was trying to get to the playoffs with Red Oak High School. Caleb Mills didn't show up here until around January the 10th. So he was, you know, I could look at his eyes when we got off the plane on some of these trips and walked these arenas, and I could see all the way to Saskatchewan. You know, he's just bug-eyed. And now, you know, Selection Sunday is a week from today. You know, these guys are going to sit there and watch Selection Sunday and experience it for the first time. And then the conference tournament. I always get torn with this conference tournament. You know, a good friend of mine is Chris Beard. Texas Tech went to the Final Four. You know, people forget they lost the first game in the Big 12 tournament. So some people just don't understand the bigger picture. You know, if we weren't going to win it, you know, if we lose the first game, that gives us a chance to rest. When I was at Oklahoma, we won 3 straight of those things. 01, 02, 03, and the problem was one of those years, you know, you played 3 grueling games. I think we beat Missouri, Kansas, or Missouri, Texas, and Kansas, and all 3 were just fistfights. Then we wound up playing on a Thursday morning in Tucson, Arizona. I wish we'd lost in the first round. It gave us a better chance in the tournament. So there's a lot of give and take with that thing, but the competitor in you, if they keep score, you want to win, you know. And we're going into uncharted waters with this group. Last year's group, there was no uncharted waters. Everybody had been in the NCAA tournament. All our leaders had been to the tournament. All our leaders had played in a championship game in the conference tournament. They'd all won in the NCAA tournament. None of these guys have played any kind of role to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take tomorrow off, and I guess we'll find out about 5 o'clock. What time does Tulsa play? 3? What time is it now? 2 o'clock? It's 2 o'clock, right? Make sure my clock flip forward. So we'll find out, but we're not going to make a big deal out of either tournament. You know, everybody else will do that. Our job is just to keep our kids grounded and believe in our culture, believe in each other, and like Fabian said, keep playing for each other.
Kelvin, in terms of the race here, you guys have done your part, and now you wait to see later on. We've talked about it, but what would it mean to have this time a share of the conference?
Doesn't matter. I remember in 06, we shared the conference championship with Kansas, and all I heard was how many consecutive times Kansas won the championship. They never said they shared it one year, so I don't want to hear share. You're conference champion, you're conference champion. It doesn't say share. If we do get a banner, it ain't gonna say part-time or night shift or day shift or fourth shift. It's gonna say championship. So I don't want to hear the word share. If Tulsa loses, they're the conference champions too. They didn't share it. You know, you have 3 conference champions, and when you go through the grind of a season, if we do have 3, there's 3 deserving teams, and all 3 can make a case that we could have won it outright. But everybody can play that game. You know, we had our chances. We didn't do it. so you move on. But it would be huge, but that's all speculation at this point. I don't like pulling for against other teams because I really like Greg and Frank. They're both great coaches, and they've both done a tremendous job with their programs. But I hope we get it. I hope we win it. Don't get that twisted.
Quentin, with the way the game was going, Caleb was struggling with shot a little, Marcus a little off. Did you sort of take it upon yourself? Did you sort of see that there was a need, for someone to step up there offensively?
Yeah, definitely. And not every night's gonna be perfect for like them. They've been playing really good the past couple of games, and then once I came in there, and just know the game's kind of flowing right. We had some good plays defensively. Come down, you get in a rhythm, make a few shots. Like you said, coach, you make a few shots. I want you to keep shooting them, keep taking them, and that's what I'm gonna do. They want me to fade, set the screen for me, get me open, get the right matchups, and take advantage of it. Or fade when he gets the right matchup, he go in the low post, and he can score. So really, just everybody, just the confidence. We want everybody to succeed. We want everybody to shoot the ball. But right now, me and Fabe had it going in the first half and the second half. Really had to play both really good halves, and then me just had it going in the second half.